Right then, welcome back to the channel. This is another tutorial. So in this video I'm going to show you how I create real youth academies in FIFA 22. So it does take quite a long time. There's probably easier ways of doing this, but this is just the way that I've been doing it. So you'll need a couple of things for this. You'll need the live editor to add the mini faces, but I'll link the video to that in the description because I've already done that video. You'll also need, from the same Patreon page, the cheat table. So this is the where you get the cheat table from. This is Aranaktu's Patreon page. So same as the live editor. So we're going to get the latest version, which is 22.115. So if you download it from there, it is free. And if you unzip it, you'll also need cheat engine as well. So 7.3 or newer. But he explains that in his post. So once you're in game, you need to find where you saved and extracted your table. So the folder will look like this. Double click this one if it's the first time that you're using it. Right click it, press open with, and then find where you've installed the cheat engine as well. It's a really good tool, this, if you're relatively new to FIFA on PC and playing with mods and things. You press OK there. So you've got two things here. You've got the sort of normal cheat engine table here with everything in there. I usually go on compact mode just so you can see more. And you also get sort of a user interface as well, which is really useful for editing teams and for players. But I'm not going to need that straight away. I'm mainly going to use this for now. So I go back into the game then. What you need to do here is basically scout as many players as you can really quickly at the start of your save. That's the way I usually do it anyway. So if we go and have a look at what the at what scouts we've already got, we've got the one that we got to start with. We need two more just to make this a little bit quicker. Again, it doesn't matter about the nationalities because we'll be changing those anyway. So once you've got three scouts deployed and out scouting, if you open the cheat table, first thing that we need to do is generate new reports. So we go into the Youth Academy section, click this one so it'll give you 15 players per report. We don't need to worry about potentials and everything else for this, and all we do is click the first one, which is generate new report. So we should get 3 new reports now with 15 plays in each. So as you can see, that's worked, and we've got 15 plays that have been randomly sort of generated. Now the idea behind this is that we need to find players that look like the real player. So the first one that we're going to do is Bruno. So we need to find a player who looks relatively like this player. Now we can change the facial hair, we can change the hair, we can change the skin tone, the body type, the height, etc. So it's just really the facial features that you need to get relatively correct. So I've got a few players now that have been randomly generated, and I'm going to pick one that looks most like the player. So I think I'm going to go with this one. So it's not perfect yet, but the hairstyle's already pretty much as good as I'm going to get. So I won't need to change the hair. So I'll probably change the facial hair so it matches what he actually has, and you'll need to do a bit of tinkering around with this to sort of get used to the knowing what hairstyles, what number and stuff. So it just take a little bit of time, but there's ways that you can make it quick for yourself. Most of the options to change all this information is going to be in the players table. So you need player info, you need appearance, and you also need the edit player name table as well. So to make this quicker, I'm gonna put all of this stuff at the top, all the stuff that I need, just so it makes it quicker if you're doing multiple players. If you're just doing one, it's not too bad. And the common name is sort of a nickname, so we'll be using that for this one, seeing as though we've got a few Brazilian players. The other stuff that we'll need is down here. I'm not going to reorder all of it because I'm just going to do this one player, but you just repeat the same process for each of the 16 plays that you're allowed. So to start off with then, I'm going to put the name in. So we've got the first name, so press enter, paste it in, and then we've got the surname, so do the same. And then if this player has got a nickname. So this is where you would put in the nickname, which is the common name. And if I just quickly come out of this and go back in, you can see that the name's been changed. So if you went into the full player details, you get his full name, but you can see his alias there. Next thing we're going to change is the nationality. This player is Brazilian. The modifier is it will edit the stats of the player. So if you had 0, the stats would be the same. If you had a modifier of 1, they would all be +1. -1, it would be -1, etc. So that's what that one does. The overall rating, don't worry about, we'll change that in a minute. The potential, I usually do a little bit of research based on how young the player is, etc. and the current value, and most of it's just guesswork, to be honest, but I'm going to go with 80 for this player. Then we change the position, so this player's a centre forward. A lot of this information I get off this website, which is Transfermarkt. I'm sure that if you're watching this video, you've heard of this website before. So you've got like the heights, the date of births, etc. that you might not have on the actual club website. And you've also got the positions as well. And you can add up to 3 secondary positions as well. Preferred foot's usually on Transfermarkt as well. Sorry. So he's right-footed, which is fine. First name and last name ID, we don't need to change that because this table that we've edited here with the names in, if there's anything in there for that player, it will just overwrite the other names. The skill moves and stuff will change later also. So the only other things that we need to change are what the player looks like. So again, Transfermarkt's really good for things like height. The club's website probably does have some of that information on, so you can see his date of birth there, the 14th of March 2003, which is obviously the same as what's on Transfermarkt. So he's 1.74 meters, so I just need to change that here. And I'll then just have a look at the player and sort of decide what body type we're going to give him. So he's probably too built at the moment, so we can change that here. There's multiple different options. A lot of the players have got their own in there now, but I usually just stick to the top ones. So I'm going to have a look at tall and normal, see what that looks like for this player. And then we go back into game, come off the player, go back on him, and it'll show you the change. So that looks a little bit better there. The other thing that I need to do is the skin tone's a little bit too dark, and also the facial hair as well. I'm going to go medium brown, back into game, up and down again. That looks a little bit more like it. Try one other to see if it's light brown would be better. So again, come back into game, go off the player and back on. In fact, no, it's probably more accurate, so I'm going to leave it like that. So again, hairstyle you would change, but it's pretty accurate to what he's already got, so I'm going to leave that. You would change that here with the hair type code, so you would just change that number there. I'm sorry I don't have all of the hair type codes with pictures and stuff because there's hundreds of them, but the easiest way to do it, if you know what hairstyle you want, is look at the player with that hairstyle and copy the number from another player. Facial hair colour, so 0 is black, so I'm going to leave it as black, and the facial hair type is here, the facial hair type code. So I need one that's just relatively the same as that. There we go. So I've gone with number 3. It looks relatively similar. So that's the hair and the facial hair done. So the next thing to edit is the date of birth. So this is a little bit tricky because the date format is just a number. So to get around that, I've got this table here. So all I have to do is put in the player's birthday here, and it'll give me the ID for what I need to use. To work out the dates that you need, what you need to do is basically put in the date that you would need into Excel. This is the quickest way that I know to work it out. So we'll use the same player as an example. So the 14th of March 2003. I'll just make the text white so we can see what we're doing. Then take a copy of this. So Control right or Control C, Control V. So we've got the same next to it, and then we select this cell and we change the format of it from a date to a number, or to general, sorry, and you'll get this number here. To get the FIFA code for this date, we need to add 115859. I don't know why, but it is what it is. There will be some reason. So we would do that plus that, and we'd get 153553. So that's the ID that we need to put into the cheat engine for the date of birth to be correct. And I'm going to paste it into there. And if we just look at the player's age now, he's currently 16. If we come out of this page and go back in, you can see that he's 17. So you might notice the Miniface is changed as well. So we're going to address that now. So I've got a full video about how to do this, but I'm just going to go through it really quickly so you can see sort of how I do this. What I usually do is get all of the Miniface pictures done first before I bring them into FIFA. So what I usually do is go to the actual club's website, find the player, copy the image, go into Excel, and this is what I showed you in the previous video. So we've got a cell there, and we've used the camera tool to create a picture from that cell. So we just scale it down until the picture fits properly and it matches sort of the same format as the other pictures. Then we right click here, save as picture. You save it wherever you want. As you can see, I've already saved it, so I'll just save it over there. The next step that we need to do is to remove the background, so we go to this website here, which is remove.bg. We press upload, we find where we saved the picture, and it will remove the background from us. And then these pictures are already the correct size, which is 120 by 120 pixels because of the way I set that spreadsheet up. But you can resize them and stuff in Paint if they're not the right size. So if we download that, I'm then just going to go to my downloads, Control X, go back into where I'm saving them, and Control V. You can see I've already got one version of it there, so I'll get rid of it. But that's now ready to put into the game using the live editor. So I'll come into the game, open the live editor, search for the player. So there's the player there. So click the player there, import Miniface. You see, because I'm playing in full screen, it looks like it's paused and nothing's happened. So if you do Alt and Tab, you can see that it's open there, the window. So select it there, and then we choose the picture, which is this one. Press OK. We do Alt Tab again and go back onto FIFA, and you can see that everything's okay now. If you're playing in windowed, that doesn't happen. And then if we select the player, you can see that his Miniface has changed and he's got his real face. Obviously that's just showing you with one player. What I would tend to do is get all the Minifaces, like I've said, and then add them at the end. The only other thing I've got to do to edit the player is the stats. So for that, I come back into the table, I open the GUI here, go on the player editor. This makes things a lot easier. Ignore the Miniface, it's still correct, it's just been added by a different tool, that's all. And you can see that we can amend everything, so we've got like the skill moves, the weak foot, got contract information. If he was in the first team, you could change his wage and things like that here as well, which is how I sort of add the real wages and contracts to the players. So we change the attributes here. You can either do it all together like that, or you can edit each one individually. You can press random as well. We can add various different traits to the player, and if we wanted to use this to edit his attributes as well, we can. I just find it easy to do it all from the table. Accessories as well, if you want to change the boots. So for example, I might want to give him some Nike boots, so 204, click apply, go back into the game, move away from the player and move back, and you can see that things have been added there. So that's pretty much everything. I appreciate that's not the easiest way to do this. There's probably easier ways to do it, but it works for me. It does take a long time, but the end result's really rewarding. And you don't have to do it for the 16. You could just choose sort of the best starting 11 or something from the academy. It's obviously up to you. If you do have any questions, there's probably going to be a few for this one. You can either message me on Twitter. I'm happy to help you on there. You can put a comment on the video, and I'll try and get back to you as well. So let me know if I haven't explained anything or if I missed anything out. But thanks very much. I hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next video.